All right, check it, y'all. We out here, and I want to tell you that balance is the key. Balance is the key. We got done with church. We went to go eat. Line was a little bit long, but because we were members of the church staff, we ended up fast tracking through the line, going and sitting down and having a conversation. It's about 5 of us there. Shout out to Anthony, Caden, DJ, Andrea. We had a really good conversation talking about balance in the church. Now, balance is key in every aspect of life. And I would say when it comes to the spiritual life, it's even more important. See, there's a pendulum swing that we always get to see on extreme levels, but because of the nature of the pendulum, it very rarely stops in the middle, the balance point. It swings back and forth, and at very small intervals, you might see something that looks like a balanced approach, but it spends more of the time swinging and pausing and slowing down on those edges of extremism. Within our schools, for example, you have schools that started out primarily as mission schools, where the emphasis was, you're going to come here, you're going to be an engineer, you're going to be an architect, you're going to be an accountant, you're going to be a nurse, a PT, a personal therapist, you're going to do all this stuff, physical therapist. You're going to do all these things, but within the context of the mission mindset, and you're going to be given tools that show you how to be a missionary within this context in the field that you have chosen. And yet, most of our schools have shifted from that model. The pendulum has swung. So to where it was very obvious what you were getting into coming to our schools. Now, if you want to hear about missions, you got to go into the back corners of a campus ministries office, and then you'll be able to find out a little bit more about missions. The pendulum has swung. When it comes to reaching people in the church and outside of the church, I'll start with outside. You have the message itself, right? With Adventism, the end time, eschatology, all these things we talk about. And it becomes so easy for people to get so caught up and so focused on the end time and what is to come, that now you have a people so consumed with what does this mean and what's this sign and this, that, and the other, and you end up with people who can become useless here, right now, in the present. So much so that if I go up to somebody who's homeless, I'm telling them, hey, Jesus is coming soon. And they're telling me out here in this 41-degree weather, I'm cold, you got a jacket. All right, I heard that, but hey, Jesus is coming soon. There's got to be balance. There has to be balance. When it comes to inside the church, a youth movement, that's how it started. And yet, more often than not, it's harder for the youth to find a place because in church, we're not giving them the same kind of ownership, so that way they can really invest and see themselves and see a viable future and existence and a place for them in our churches. There's a pendulum swing, and we need to find balance. And, you know, being able to talk about things from community here on campus, what it looks like for students who are in the seminary, what it's like when they're a part of the gymnics. And I'm proud to say that gymnics is easily the biggest and most impactful community that I've been a part of since being here on campus. It's been a blessing. And it's like, I got to find balance. You always have to find the balance. So I don't know what it looks like for you and how you approach things and how you view things, but can we have a more balanced approach that's going to put us in a position to be more impactful and to reach others in a more effective way? Am I so consumed with what I believe to be truth that I become so ignorant and careless of the approach? Do I become so engrossed with my own studies and my level of education that I forget how to speak to somebody who doesn't have that same education? Do I make things so surface level and bland that I'm not giving anybody any real substance? Am I straying so far away from the idea of a special message that it becomes blended with everything else around me? Am I so exclusionary to the point of not being able to have a relationship with anyone who's different than me simply based on the fact that they're different than me? Or do I just say, well, anything goes, and it doesn't matter whatever the difference is, whatever I feel is important about my faith, I'm going to throw all of that out and just blend in with everything? There has to be balance. There has to be balance. I think that's a boat out there on the river. I don't think you can see it, especially because, I was in face lock. Face track. DJI, Osmo Pocket 3, shout out. But it's about balance. It's about balance. Are you spending all of your time with school or work and it's costing you your friendships? Or are you so worried about being connected with everybody that you can't lock in and get things done? We got to stop hanging out on the extremes and figure out the balance. And balance literally touches every single aspect of our lives. And I think one of the biggest areas where we can use more balance is spiritually, especially in this day and age, when I believe that Christians and Adventists in particular have something very valuable and useful and practical to share. And when we stick too much on a theological level, we're losing people. We can relate better, we can do better, and we need to. We need to have a more balanced approach, especially in the time that we live in the world that we live in right now. We've got to make the most of these opportunities because, man, if we miss out, we miss out. And what are you going to do if you miss out on those opportunities, right? They don't come back. We got them while we got them. And when the moment's gone, it's gone. So do what you can with that. Balance is key. Balance is key. Make sure to try to have it in as many aspects of your life as you can. And I think you'll find yourself having a more impactful, a more effective, and just a better overall experience. So that's what I got to say here. If you stayed this long, thanks for listening. Let me know what you think down below. And I'll catch you in the next one, all right? We out here and we out.